Traveling by air can be exciting, but let's be honest, it's not always easy, especially as we get older. Long lines, heavy bags, crowded terminals, and tight seats can turn what should be a relaxing trip into a stressful experience. But what many senior travelers don't realize is this. Airlines actually offer a wide range of free services just for seniors. Things that can make your journey smoother, more comfortable, and much less overwhelming. The catch? Most of these perks aren't advertised. If you don't know about them, and more importantly, if you don't ask, you may never receive them. That's why we're here. In this video series, we're sharing 15 completely free things seniors can request on a flight. No extra charge, no hidden fees, and no upgrades required. Just thoughtful accommodations that are already available if you know where to look and how to ask. Whether you're flying across the country for a doctor's appointment, heading to a long-awaited family reunion, or jetting off on a dream vacation, these tips will help you feel prepared, empowered, and taken care of. Here's what we'll cover in this series. Free comfort items like blankets, pillows, and headphones, medical support, and special meal requests. Priority boarding, seat selection, and in-airport assistance. And even how to score lounge access, carry-on help, and seat upgrades without spending a dime. These aren't tricks or loopholes. They're your rights as a senior traveler, and airline crews are trained to offer these services if you ask politely and early. So if you or a loved one is over 60 and planning to fly soon, this series is for you. We're going to walk you through each benefit step by step, so you know exactly what to request, when to ask, and how to enjoy a safer, smoother flight. Let's talk about one of the most underrated free perks you can ask for as a senior traveler. Complimentary toiletry kits, sometimes called amenity kits, or comfort packs. If you're flying on a long-haul or overnight international flight, many airlines quietly offer these kits to passengers in economy class, especially to seniors who request them politely. But here's the thing. They usually don't hand them out automatically. You have to ask, so what's in a toiletry kit? You might receive a toothbrush and small tube of toothpaste, hand lotion or lip balm, an eye mask and earplugs, a pair of socks, or even a simple comb. These may seem like small items, but on a long flight, when the cabin is dry, lights are dimmed, and you're trying to relax, these comforts can make a big difference. An eye mask helps you sleep. Earplugs block out engine noise and chatty neighbors. Moisturizer prevents dry skin at 30,000 feet. And brushing your teeth before landing? It helps you feel fresh and ready for the day ahead. Pro tip: ask early, either when boarding or shortly after takeoff. You can say something like, "Hi, do you have any amenity kits or toiletry kits available?" Be polite, and you might even be offered an extra item or something from business class if supplies allow. Flight attendants are often happy to help, especially when they see you're a senior traveler trying to stay comfortable. Even if you don't get a full kit, they may still bring you individual items like lip balm, lotion, or an eye mask. It never hurts to ask. So if you're flying more than 6 hours, particularly overnight, don't tough it out. Ask for a toiletry kit and enjoy a cleaner, more restful, and more comfortable flight. One of the most stressful parts of air travel, especially for seniors, is dealing with connecting flights. Large airports often mean long walks, tight layovers, confusing signage, and even multiple terminals. If your gate is far away or your layover is short, it can feel like a race. And that's the last thing you want when traveling for comfort. But here's something many people don't realize. Airlines and airports offer completely free assistance for connecting flights, and it's available to all seniors, not just those with visible disabilities. You can request a wheelchair or motorized cart to take you between gates, a staff escort to guide you through security or across terminals, help with navigating customs and immigration if your connection is international. These services are free, but you do need to ask for them. The best time is when booking your flight, or at the very latest during check-in at the airport. You can say, "Hi, I'll need help getting to my connecting gate. Can I request a wheelchair or cart ride?" Or, "I have a tight connection and would feel better with someone assisting me through the terminal." In most cases, the airline or airport will send someone to meet you at the arrival gate and either walk with you or drive you to your next gate. They're trained to handle tight schedules and help make sure you get where you need to go, safely and without stress. And here's another tip. If you're flying internationally and need to go through passport control, this kind of assistance can help you move faster through the process, especially if you're feeling tired or unsure of where to go. If you're traveling with a companion, they may be able to join you on the cart or walk alongside the escort as well, so don't risk getting lost or running through the terminal. Just ask, and let the professionals help you get to your next flight smoothly. Let's be honest, airport terminals aren't always the most relaxing places. They're crowded, noisy, and often filled with long lines, loud announcements, and uncomfortable seating. But here's a travel secret that many seniors don't know. You might be able to access an airport lounge for free. That's right. Airport lounges aren't just for first-class passengers or business travelers anymore. Seniors can sometimes qualify for free or discounted access through a few simple options, and it can completely transform your travel experience. Here's how. First, check if you have a travel rewards credit card that includes lounge access. Some credit cards offer this as a benefit, and many seniors already have one without realizing it. Even if the primary cardholder is a spouse or caregiver, you may be able to enter as a guest. Second, if you're flying in premium economy or above, your ticket might include lounge access. This is more common on international flights, even in non-business class. Always ask at check-in, does my ticket include lounge access? Third, some airline frequent flyer programs or senior membership clubs offer occasional lounge passes. For example, members of certain retirement travel groups or senior loyalty programs may receive one-time or annual access to lounges. And finally, if you're traveling on a long layover, especially on an international itinerary, you can sometimes request complimentary lounge access as a courtesy if you're a senior and the terminal is overcrowded. It's rare, but if you ask kindly, it's worth a try. So why does lounge access matter? Inside you'll find comfortable, quiet seating, free food and drinks, including tea, coffee, and light meals, clean restrooms, Wi-Fi, charging ports, and often helpful staff. Some lounges even have sleeping areas, private bathrooms, or spa services. And when you're a senior traveler, especially one who may be tired, traveling solo, or managing a long delay, this kind of environment can make a world of difference. One of the most physically challenging parts of air travel, especially for older adults, is dealing with carry-on luggage. Overhead bins can be high, heavy bags can be awkward, and trying to lift something over your head while standing in a moving aisle is not only frustrating, it can be dangerous. But here's what every senior traveler should know. You can ask for free help with your carry-on bags, and flight attendants are trained to assist you. You don't have to struggle or risk injury trying to store your own bag. If you're uncomfortable lifting your suitcase or personal item into the overhead bin, you can simply say, "Excuse me, could you please help me with my bag?" or, "I'm not comfortable lifting this overhead. Would someone be able to assist me?" Airline crew are used to this request and are more than happy to help, especially for senior passengers. It's part of their job to keep the cabin safe and passengers comfortable. In fact, many airlines prefer that you ask for assistance instead of trying to do it yourself and potentially getting hurt. And it doesn't stop there. If you need help pulling your carry-on down when the flight is over, don't hesitate to press the call button or politely ask the nearest crew member. Here are a few tips to make it even easier. If possible, pack light or use a rolling bag that fits under the seat. Keep medications and important documents in a small personal bag that stays with you. If you think you'll need assistance ahead of time, mention it at check-in, or let the gate agent know when you board. Also, some senior travelers are allowed to pre-board, meaning you can get on the plane early, find your seat with less pressure, and ask for bag assistance before the aisle fills up. You don't have to prove anything or feel guilty. Your safety and comfort matter, and the airline crew is there to help. Everyone dreams of a better seat on a plane. More legroom, a little peace and quiet, maybe even sitting near the front. But did you know that as a senior traveler, you may have a real chance of being upgraded? For free? Let's be clear, free upgrades aren't guaranteed. But in many cases, airlines will accommodate seat changes for elderly passengers, especially if you have a medical condition, mobility concern, or simply ask early and politely. So how do you improve your odds? First, ask at the check-in counter. This is often the best moment. The agent can see which seats are still open and whether there are bulkhead or aisle seats available, or even extra legroom rows that haven't been sold. You might say, I'm a senior traveler and I have a bit of trouble sitting for long periods. Is there any chance of moving to a seat with more leg room? Or, do you have any open aisle or front row seats for easier access? If the check-in agent can't help, try again at the gate before boarding. Sometimes last-minute seating changes free up space in more comfortable areas of the cabin. And if the flight isn't full, you might get a better seat without paying a cent. Occasionally, though more rare, airlines may move seniors to business class or premium economy as a courtesy, especially if you have trouble walking or are recovering from surgery. If that's your case, let them know. I've recently had surgery and would appreciate any seat that allows easier movement. Be polite, smile, and understand that staff are doing their best. Kindness can go a long way. Also, once you're on board, if the seat next to you is empty, ask the flight attendant if you can shift to give yourself more space. They're usually happy to accommodate you once boarding is complete, so don't assume you're stuck with the seat you were given. Ask calmly and respectfully, and you might be pleasantly surprised. In-flight entertainment can make a long flight feel much shorter. But what if you forgot your headphones? Or you're struggling to hear the audio clearly? Don't worry, airlines have you covered. As a senior traveler, there are a few free comfort and tech items you can request. You just need to know what to ask for. Let's start with headphones. Most airlines offer complimentary headphones, especially on longer flights. Even budget carriers usually have a few pairs available. So if you didn't bring your own, or if yours don't fit the airline's two-prong port, just ask, "Hi, do you have any spare headphones I could use?" Flight attendants will usually hand you a pair, no charge, so you can enjoy movies, music, or audiobooks from your seat screen. If you have hearing difficulties, you can also ask for volume-boosting headphones, available on some airlines. Captions or subtitles on in-flight movies, enabled in the settings menu. Or even ask the crew to repeat important announcements personally if you didn't hear them clearly over the speaker. Next, if your flight doesn't have seatback screens, or if you're in a section where entertainment is streamed through your device, you might be able to borrow a tablet from the airline. Some carriers lend devices on longer flights if requested, especially if you're unable to access digital entertainment on your own. Now let's talk about comfort items. You can request things like a blanket, a pillow, an eye mask or earplugs, especially on overnight flights. They're not just for premium passengers, and many flight attendants keep a few extras in the galley for people who ask nicely. So don't sit through your flight in silence, discomfort, or boredom. If you forgot something or need a little help enjoying the ride, ask. Because whether it's entertainment or peace and quiet, you deserve a comfortable flight. Let's be honest, airplane food doesn't always get the best reputation. But staying hydrated and well-fed is especially important for senior travelers, and here's the good news. There's more available than you might think, and it's free if you ask. Let's start with the basics. Water. You're not limited to the tiny plastic cup handed out during beverage service. You can request a full bottle of water, especially if you need it to take medication or just stay hydrated throughout the flight. Simply press the call button and politely ask, "Would it be possible to have a full bottle of water, please?" On most flights, especially international ones, flight attendants are happy to provide one if available. Now let's talk snacks. After the initial meal or snack service, you can often ask for a second helping or something different entirely. Most airlines carry extra crackers or cookies, packs of pretzels or peanuts, sometimes even fresh fruit or yogurt in the galley. Here's how to ask. "Hi, I was wondering if you have any extra snacks available." If they have anything left over, they're usually more than happy to share, especially with a kind and respectful request. And yes, on some flights, you can also get a second sandwich or meal, particularly if there were no shows or extra trays. It's not guaranteed, but if you're feeling hungry, it doesn't hurt to ask. A little-known tip. Many international flights offer mid-flight snack stations, usually in the galley, but they're not always announced. If you're up for stretching your legs, walk back and look. You might find granola bars, juice, or crackers available to take. Staying nourished and hydrated is more than a luxury. It's a necessity for staying alert, comfortable, and feeling well after you land, so don't wait to be offered. Ask politely, stay kind, and enjoy those free goodies. For senior travelers, eating well and feeling well during a flight isn't just about comfort, it's about staying healthy and safe. Thankfully, airlines are more prepared than you might think. Let's begin with special meals. If you have dietary needs, whether for health or personal reasons, you can request a special meal at no extra cost. Options often include low-sodium or low-fat meals, diabetic-friendly meals, vegetarian, vegan, kosher, or halal, even gluten-free meals. Here's the key. These meals usually need to be requested at least 24 to 48 hours before your flight. You can do it online when booking your ticket, or by calling the airline afterward. If you forgot, it's still worth mentioning it to a flight attendant. Sometimes they have extra special meals or can help find alternatives from what's available. Now let's talk about in-flight medical support. Flight attendants are trained in basic first aid, and every commercial aircraft is required to carry a medical kit on board. If you're feeling unwell, even slightly dizzy, lightheaded, nauseous, or just uncomfortable, don't hesitate to press the call button and ask for help. They can provide things like aspirin or pain relievers, motion sickness tablets, cold compresses, bandages or antiseptic wipes, and sometimes oxygen if needed. It's completely free and meant to prevent minor issues from becoming bigger problems. Flight crews would much rather assist early than deal with an emergency later. If you use a CPAP machine or portable oxygen concentrator, you're usually allowed to bring it on board, even as an extra carry-on, as long as it meets FAA guidelines and you notify the airline in advance. Also, let the crew know where your medication is stored. In rare cases, they can help you access it quickly if you're not feeling well. So whether it's about what you eat or how you feel, you're not on your own in the sky. Just ask and let the cabin crew support you. We've made it to the final part of our series, and in this one, we're covering the most helpful perks you can ask for as a senior traveler: early boarding, seat selection, and wheelchair assistance. Let's start with early boarding. Many airlines offer pre-boarding for passengers who need extra time getting down the jet bridge or settling into their seats. If you're a senior who moves a little slower, uses a cane, or simply wants to avoid the rush, this option is for you. When you arrive at the gate, all you need to do is approach the agent and say, "Hi, I'd like to request early boarding if that's available." No explanation required. You don't need a doctor's note. Just a simple request is enough. It gives you time to find your seat, stow your bags, and get comfortable without the crowd. Now let's talk about seat selection. If you need a specific seat, like an aisle for easier bathroom access or a front row seat for quick deplaning, you can request it in advance or at the airport, often for free. Many airlines waive seat selection fees for seniors or those with mobility concerns, especially if you ask at check-in or the gate. Just say, "I have some mobility issues. Would it be possible to get an aisle or front row seat?" Gate agents are usually understanding and will help if the seat is available. And finally, wheelchair assistance. One of the most valuable and underused services available to seniors. If you have trouble walking long distances or simply want help navigating a busy airport, you can request a wheelchair and escort service completely free of charge. You can do this when booking your flight, by calling the airline ahead of time, or even by asking at the check-in desk when you arrive. An airport staff member will take you through check-in, security, to your gate, and even onto the aircraft itself if needed. This service is also available on arrival, so you won't have to walk across the terminal to get your bags. So whether it's boarding early, sitting comfortably, or getting support from curb to cabin, these services are yours to use. Airplane. And that wraps up our series. 15 free things seniors can ask for on a flight. We hope you feel more confident, more prepared, and more empowered to travel smart. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real-world travel tips, right here on Aviation Secrets.